Amanda Jo Erven is an accountant, an auditor, and an ethics speaker that prides herself on not being your typical accountant, auditor, or ethics speaker. Her motto is, good things come to those who wait, but don't. You deserve better than good. She believes our path to greatness begins with the character choice we make each and every day. And she is going to tell us why it's time to start making better choices right now. Please help me welcome Jo to the stage to tell us exactly how her passion for ethics began decades ago. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Amanda Jo Erven.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, so we all know speakers, they like to tell you about themselves, right? Don't we? Yep. Well, yeah, there's a yeah. Well, I like to do that too, but I like to do it a little bit differently by going way back in time. What, you guys didn't believe me already? This is about ethics. I would never lie to you. I am going to admit to you 3 things right off the bat. Number 1, just for fun, I was bald for a really long time as a baby. Number 2, once I did get some hair, I had a comb over for a while. Yep, you can see, lovely, right? All right, stick with me. The 3rd thing is what's really important when it comes to ethics. It's about this age that I started talking. And when I say talking, I mean really started talking. You see, I have older siblings. I bet some of you have some of those as well. But when my older sister was 16, I was 3. And she used to sneak out of the house. And of course, I felt like it was my duty to run and tell my parents. She probably still feels about that way about me. Then there's my brother, also pictured. He's 12 years older than me. He used to try to lift that $20 bill out of my mom's purse. Of course, I felt like it was my duty to tell my mother. What about the kids at school? Of course, if I saw someone cheating off of me, I felt like it was my duty to tell the teacher. Can you guys believe I wasn't a very popular child? You know, some people, they even called me a tattletale, but I prefer to think of myself back then as just a really short whistleblower. Come on, that's the laugh. Is it any surprise that I became an ethics instructor? Really, is it any surprise? Here's the thing, no matter how you grew up, I think each one of us wakes up every day making a character choice. And there's 3 character choices that I think we have to pick from. The first one is the big me. The second one is the ethical rationalizer. And the 3rd one is the everyday ethicist. Now let's start with the big me. I bet you can tell already, just from those 3 words, what the big me, personality, character choice is all about. They're all about me. They do what's best for themselves, no matter what the consequences, no matter the ethical consequences. Let's look at 3 examples of the big me in real life. If the big me notices that the cashier forgot to ring up an item, do you think they say something? No. Why? Because that's what's best for them. If the big me finds $50 on the ground, do you think they search everywhere for the owner? Do you think they find somewhere to turn it in? No. Why? Because that's what's best for them. What about the big me student today that sees answers to their next exam posted on social media? Do you think they tell the teacher? Or do you think they look at all of them? Yes. Why? Because that's what's best for them. You know, that last student example reminds me of a story that I included in my book, Becoming the Everyday Ethicist. And I want to read you just a little bit of that story. Now, this was originally published in the Chicago Sun-Times by Jack Griffin. But let me introduce you to Johnny. When Johnny was 6 years old, he was with his father when they were caught speeding. His father handed the officer a $20 bill with his driver's license. "It's okay, son," his father said. "Everybody does it." When he was 8, he was present at a family council presided over by Uncle George on the surest means to shave points off the income tax return. Timely, right? It's okay, kid, his uncle said. Everybody does it. When he was 12, he broke his glasses on the way to school. But his Aunt Francine, she called the insurance company and she told them they'd been stolen, and they gave them $75. It's okay, kid, she said. Everybody does it. When he was 14, him and his family, they went to the movies. His mother said, "Tell him you're 13 to get the child's rate." It's okay, son. Everybody does it. When he was 16, he got his first summer job at the local supermarket. His assignment was to put the overripe strawberries on the bottom of the box and the good ones on the top where they would show. It's okay, kid, the manager said. Everybody does it. When he was 18, he was approached by an upperclassman who offered test answers for $50. It's okay, kid, he said. Everybody does it. But Johnny was caught and sent home in disgrace. "How could you do this to your mother and me?" his father said. "You never learned anything like this at home." His aunt and uncle, also shocked. If there's one thing the world can't stand, it's a kid who cheats. I love that story for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, it shows you that big me mentality where we just do what's best for ourselves. But it also introduces the second character choice that I mentioned, the ethical rationalizer. We rationalize our behavior. Why? Because everybody does it. We rationalize that we don't have to tell the cashier that they missed that item because why? It only costs $2. Or this big store makes enough money. The ethical rationalizer student, they may not look at all those answers posted on social media, but they're gonna look at the answers for that subject that they didn't have time to study, and they're gonna rationalize that that's not as bad. The ethical rationalizers have blind spots to their ethics when it comes to things like groupthink, peer pressure, money, incentives, and even leaders in our lives. Have you ever heard someone say, "I knew it was wrong, but my boss told me to do it"? You see, we have this just uncanny ability to hold one belief while simultaneously acting contrary to it, just like Johnny's parents. So I want to ask you, is this how you want to live your life? As a big me or an ethical rationalizer? I'm guessing the answer is no. So let me just end by telling you about the third option. The third character choice we have in life is that of the everyday ethicist. My favorite things about the everyday ethicist are they don't compromise their integrity at any cost, even if it's only $2. They live by the motto, silence is not golden. They always speak the truth, even if their voice shakes. The everyday ethicist focuses on their ethical assets of honesty, integrity, courage, bravery, humility. And my very, very favorite, the everyday ethicist lives so they wouldn't be ashamed to sell their family parrot to the town gossip. How do you want to live? Which character choice will you make starting right now? Thank you.
Amanda Jo Erven, great job. You know, I'm thinking about the world that we live in politically. We've got global challenges going on, and then ethics in business, but then just ethics in life. You're really speaking to a very significant need in the world today. And so the principles and the insights that you're bringing when you're speaking are really helping people see that from a different perspective and some practical applications.
Absolutely, and I'd just like to say that if you have a pulse, you need ethics. I
Yeah.
mean, there really, there isn't any one of us out there that couldn't learn something
Right.
from an ethics presentation. So.
Awesome. Amanda Jo Erven, everyone. Give her a big round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to bring our session this afternoon to a close, I'd like to invite the other speakers up here with me right now. Didn't all of these guys do a great job this afternoon? Fantastic job, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for that. And by the way, so let's walk through real quick. You've got your microphones on. So this is Jean Marie Di Giovanna. Great presentation. Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about a perfect audience for you. Corporate work, association work, a little bit of both. What do you do?
Mainly corporate work. I also do association work, mainly with leaders, director and above, and also senior leaders.
Okay, fantastic. And the primary message that you're bringing to these events or to the clients?
Yeah, that there's a new way to lead in this climate.
A new way, which hopefully means a better way.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Jean Marie. This is, remember, Dr. Margaret Henderson. Margaret, tell us a little bit about you, what you speak on, and that audience. Is it corporate? Is it association work?
Either.
Okay.
Anybody who's on empty, right? Like you were talking about. So for any community that's struggling with stress, which I think we all are, especially with the pandemic, but of course all the other things. So burnout relief and stress management.
Perfect. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And then we have here Amanda Jo Everett. Great presentation, Amanda Jo. You were a delight. Tell us a little bit about a perfect audience for you, association, corporate work, or how that works for you.
So associations specifically that need ethics requirements is typically who I speak most to, but that often leads to corporate jobs, and
absolutely.
I do a lot of corporate culture consulting, a lot of writing of ethics policies and making that more meaningful for organizations.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Fantastic. And then the first speaker of our last session here today, George Walter. George, tell us a little bit about a perfect audience for you to speak to, association or corporate work.
Only people who communicate, whether it's in writing or speaking. They're the only people I work with.
It's a small segment, isn't it?
I had those penguins in Antarctica, 200,000, my biggest audience, complete bomb.
Right, I know it. Good, thank you, George, we appreciate it. And I'm Jerome Wade. I speak to audiences specifically on executive leadership, performance and productivity, as well as sales, performance and productivity, and I like to share that experience with you for your association or corporate event, in addition to also providing Master of Ceremonies work for you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, would you please congratulate our afternoon showcase speakers. Great job, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone, thank you so much. Now we're going to go to just a few-minute break. They're going to come back to the main session, which is the closing session right here in this room. So we'll see you back on stage here in just a few minutes. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.